Welcome to today's video. I just wanted to do something fun and colorful on the eyes, so I decided to go for mint green. It's been a while since I've done a mint green look. I've been doing lots of greens, but not so much colorful pastel greens, and I thought better time to do that now than summertime, which any time of year is good, but a little less technique involved, just a little bit more of a traditional outer contour, some shimmer on the lid. Here's the shimmers I used, or what's left of them, so I'll show you what we're playing with, just some odds and ends from my collection. Okay, so I've got like my base on just so this video wouldn't be like too long, and I did just some classic. You guys have seen me do this combo on camera before. It's the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum and the Matte and Poreless 12-Hour Wear Fit Me Foundation. Today for blush, I used a bronzer. This is called Top Down. It was from Jaclyn Cosmetics. And I don't know what I was thinking going this deep with a bronzer. It's a very, very warm collection too. When it first released, oh, it still smells like toffee or coffee. It smells really good. But I just use that as like kind of a blush bronzer. It's very pigmented and kind of peachy on me, so that's all I have really for that. I did a tiny little bit of nose contour too. And then on my basic brows, you guys have seen me do that stuff a million times. I'm wearing, I believe this is, yeah, BFF from ColourPop. And that's it. I just have lip liner on right now. I'll put something on in a little bit. So I pulled out some stuff from my collection to play with. I have this one from Odenside. And there's some really cool, like, kind of light shades here on the outside I could play with. I have a couple of palettes I built myself. This one has a bunch of my shimmers in it, and these mint greens are from the ColourPop Mint to Be, so I've got some shades there. And then a bunch of my greens, which I think is basically like the rest of that Mint to Be palette, and then some other minty greens too. These ones lean a little bit more blue and green. I'll probably stay away from those. This one has a purple shift, which you guys probably can't see, but if you've watched my Chaos Makeup videos, you've seen that before. So I'll probably just kind of hang out here, and maybe with this big one from Give Me Glow. I believe it's called Ariel. Yeah. So I'm going to start and go into this pretty pigmented one, which I don't have marked it, lost its sticker, but I know it's from the ColourPop Mint to Be palette. And then I'm going to kind of buff it out with Seltzer. So I'm going to start with these two shades. I'm going to deepen up with that Ariel. And then I'm going to go in with this shimmer that's called Mojito Mommy. So that's kind of what we're working with in case I forget to mention it as we go. And then I think I'm going to want to do this shimmer from the other palette, this Stone and Rock. So I'm going to go in with that mystery shade. We're using kind of like a mid-size, maybe smaller, at least for me, and what I consider a smaller brush. Oh, these are so pigmented. This was such a nice formula from ColourPop. These like, that era. Okay, I'm going to try my best to go as classic as I can. Let's pat out. I'm just using my concealer today. So kind of something like that. So it's kind of on the outside of the lid, lifted, and it's more packed down than really like in place, than really like blended and perfected right now, which is why I'm going to use that little bit lighter shade. Going in with a slightly like less dense brush, but about the same, into that lighter mint shade. And I'm just going to kind of buff around it in this inner part of the lid. I'm kind of staying above my natural crease so I don't lose the work. Like, I still want to see it, but I'm already getting a little too close to the eyebrow bone. I'm trying not to go too far up. Slightly onto the outside lid. I'm actually going to go ahead and pack this all over the lid. Why not? Back into that first shade. I haven't worked with this palette in a while, and I forgot as like you know, it's still kind of variations of all the same color, so using them side by side as it seems good in theory isn't always good in practice, because as you can see, it kind of just disappeared on the outside. It's a very slight nuance, so I didn't need to work so hard with this. Really, really pretty. It's okay, we're gonna build it up with the deepest shade. Other eye. Again, just kind of packing and placing. Other brush, second shade. Same thing as before. Again, going back into shade number one, brush number one, and just like re-intensifying. This back and forth might depend on the formula that you're using. I'm using ColourPop, which is very like pigmented but buildable. So going back and forth really achieves a nice blend, but it is likely that when you're working with the second color, sometimes you lose a little bit of the work the first time, just a little bit of back and forth, and you get like the most beautiful blend, like you actually know what you're doing. So just remember that it might not be necessary if you're using a little bit different formula that isn't so buildable and like kind of blends out quite far. Some almost do that too much, like the Moira eyeshadows blend out too much to like you can keep blending and then suddenly there's nothing on your eye. I don't like that level of buildability. For the next step, I'm going to use that deepest shade and kind of just use like almost like a pencil or dome flippy brush. It's not quite a pencil, it's like still a little fluffier than that, but I'm going to go ahead and just focus that right on the my natural crease, just on the outside here, and just kind of wiggle it a little bit. See where that gets me. The Give Me Glow mats. At least I have the old huge pans from their original size, and like not the 26mm, and they're just, so I don't know if the newer one is like this too, the newer formula, but this one I just find tricky to work with. See, yeah, I'm just gonna place it, and that's it. Kind of just wiggle it in this outer corner. We're just contouring, so yeah, I'm getting a little patching. I don't know if you guys can see. So I'm going to go over it with this color, and Cheer is what it's called, from the Odin's palette, and I wanna, it looks similar, it might have a little more green. I wanna see if it works better. Okay, I don't want it to look too like, I still want to blend it. Yeah, it's just lifting there, patching. I'm gonna try just that color Cheer on this side and see what happens. See if it's maybe just my eyelids. Yeah, this is so much easier to blend if I'm being honest. I don't know if you guys can tell, but like, I don't know, it just has more of a blurring effect as I lay it down. It's not so harsh here. So there you go, a mini review of the old Give Me Glow formula. I don't know if you guys can see just the blend itself. Gee, just a little bit easier. Let's try using it to fix this line here. Okay, so that's kind of what we have going on so far. I think I'm gonna go back to that mid-tone shade and just kind of fluff out some of this work. So this is the latest one here. I'm gonna go along the edge, and again, more like tapping and placing. I am doing a little bit more of like a brush work, but I am kind of working in one direction. I don't know that that's necessary, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, and I'm gonna clean up this outside here. Don't you worry. Once I get the bottom lash line, I'm gonna fill it in. and clean it up. This is just too pretty not to use. The shade Mojito Mommy. Just like a typical shimmer, nothing too crazy going on with it. Maybe a tiny bit of like luminosity, like a golden flip. And then the other one I'm going to place is this one here. It's called Frenzy. Just a bit more of that like wet topper kind of thing, so you can kind of see similar, totally different formulas. So pretty though. I love looking at those swatches. So let's go ahead and use this first one as a base. I start in the middle usually and try not to put too much shine out here. Sometimes I'm very intentional about that. Today I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna kind of keep it in the middle and lower. Pretty already. I haven't done mint green in so long, so I was like, I need to do something minty, colorful. I haven't really worn colorful makeup in a very long time. It's been kind of grungy and neutral lately, or like neutral leaning. Okay, I definitely need to blend that out, but that's where it's gonna go. While we're here, I'm gonna use a clean finger and put Frenzy on the very inside of the lid. A brush would probably be more practical, but that's not what I'm doing right now. This I will go above my like kind of natural crease a little bit to sort of fake like my eyes are bigger, or like the sockets are more inset than they are. I'm going to deepen up the lash line. I'm going to give this Ariel shade one more try, and I'm using like a very flat pointed small brush. Top her off, she is dusty. Just going to run this along the bottom lash line. I just really like this one from Odin's Eye better. I'm going to continue to use that from now on, that cheer. It's just easier to work with. They're kind of the same shade. So perfect side by side comparison. Basically kind of filling in right here with the shape of my eye so that they connect. And I'm going to go along the lash line just a little bit. Okay, look how much easier cheer. I don't know if you can notice. Just that Odin's Eye shade was so much easier to blend out and work with in place. Get a lot of patching with the other one, and then when you go to blend it, it's just, I don't know, it kind of makes a mess and harsh lines. It doesn't blur out. Okay, I'm back into the lightest shade. I'm just gonna go under that and kind of buff it out so it looks like we blended it when really it's just two colors side by side. And this was that seltzer shade. And again, I'm kind of filling in, so this is like circular. You have to do that with like the shape of your eye and kind of how you... Okay, I'm gonna go into this lightest shade and just kind of put this right here. Put a little bit outside here too. This isn't totally necessary. I'm just having a little extra fun now that the look is pretty much over. I'm not going all the way up to my brow because this is a very pigmented white, so it's sort of like a transition shade between that last little bit of mint and my like natural skin tone, I guess. Okay, and I decided to go into Cheer, that darkest shade, just one last time and kind of go over where that shimmer on my lid was. And just like blend those two together just a tiny bit, just a little touch up there. So here's where we're at. This look severely needs some eyeliner and mascara, so I'm going to do that. It's just my usual combo, jumbo eyeliner from Moira and Clinique High Impact Mascara. You've seen me use this a lot. It's definitely a favorite, so I'll be right back. Okay, we'll finish off with the lips. I kind of reinforced my lip liner with that BFF, and then I'm really close to finishing up this Dose of Color shade called Truffle. So I'm going to use that today. Hopefully it's not too warm. Sometimes it feels a little peach, and I don't want the blue to really be like clashing with the orangey shade. It's okay. I would have preferred it a little more neutral. Maybe even cooler. Okay, so we'll let that dry and set. I had some ColourPop eyeliner that I was really excited to use that's a mint color and it went missing. I don't know if it rolled off my counter or I dropped it or a kid ran off with it, but we'll be skipping that step today. That's it for today's video, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, just like sort of doing a casual look, no reason or rhyme. It's not trending. I just felt like doing mint green. And hopefully you are inspired to do something you haven't done in a while. So thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.